Welcome, here I've got Motorola Moto G30 and I'm gonna show you how to use the camera promote at this device. So at first we have to tap on a camera button to open it, and for now we are in the standard photo mode. So we have to change it. Let's do it by using this settings bar and just simply going to the right. Here we have access to other modes of this camera, and in the photo category we have the promote, so let's tap on it. Here we are. This mode gives us possibilities to choose some shooting parameters by ourselves. This is useful when we want to learn photographic skills or making experiments with photography. So let me start with this settings bar. Let's start from the right. The first one button here is the exposure compensation option. So here we can manage the light of our picture by using this slider, and going to the right we can make our photo more bright, as you can see. By going to the left we can make it more dark. At the center we have 0 parameters, so we can easily go back to the auto exposure compensation. Let's move to the next one button. Here we have ISO, so now we can control the camera's sensitivity to light. By using this slider we can make it less sensitive from 100 or more sensitive by going to the right to 3 and 2000 of it. So this is wide spectrum like this kind of camera, and I think this is really pro feature here. And of course we can easily go back to the auto settings with that. So to do it we have to just slide again to the beginning of the slider, and now the ISO is again on the auto. Let's move to the center to this button. Here we have the shutter speed, so we can change the time of taking picture. By using this slider we can adjust it from 1/6000 of seconds, so this is the shortest time here, and this is really short. This should be definitely better to objects that are, for example, in move with a good light, to frozen them at the picture. By going to the right on it we can make our time much longer, and the longest here is 32 seconds. So this is really long, and this should be better to objects that are stable. And of course we can easily go back to auto settings with that by sliding to the beginning to the left here. And also here I've got one extra tip for you. When we adjust the shutter speed and the ISO together manually, we can't use the exposure compensation. As you can see, nothing happens here when we adjust the slider now, because these two parameters together are kind of exposure compensation. So when we manage this correctly we can decide how much light we want to have at our picture, so remember about that. For now let's go back on these settings to the auto, and let's move to this button. This is the white balance, so now we can adjust the temperature of our picture in Kelvin degrees. By using this slider we can do it like that. So as you can see, by going to the left on it we can make our photo more cold, more blue. By going to the right we can make it more warm, more orange. This is kind of balance between the blue and the orange light. And we have also the small icons here on this slider that suggest us which light is good to which conditions we have in the area where we take a photo. So now we are on the tungsten light. We can pick also white fluorescent light here, then sunny light and the cloudy. And of course at the beginning we have the auto settings, so we are again on auto white balance. And let's move to the last one button here. This is the focusing. Now we are on AF from autofocus. By using this slider we can change it to MF, manual focus, and now we can decide about our focusing area like that. At the beginning of the slider of course we have auto settings, so now we are again on autofocus. And also when we adjust all of these parameters manually like that, we have one extra button. So as you can see we have to tap on this X button to turn it off, and now here from the right we have this button, extra one, to reset all of these settings, and now all of this goes back to the auto. So we don't have to separately adjust this to the auto when we have all of this manually adjusted. We just can simply use this button here, and all of this goes back to the auto. And now let's tap on this button here above the shutter, so we can open more options about the camera we can manage. Most of them is also in standard photo mode, but in the Pro we have one extra thing, the format. So here we can decide to save our pictures in JPEG, which is now, or RAW format, or RAW plus JPEG. So this is really pro feature because the RAW format is used by professional photographers to saving more details in our picture and post-producing them in graphic programs. So I really recommend you that. And now let's close this and let me use all of these settings to take a picture. So let's start with the focusing, then the white balance, maybe a little bit warmer, the shutter speed, and the ISO. And as I said, the exposure compensation now is locked, so nothing happens because we have ISO and the shutter speed together manually adjusted. And to see the picture, let's move to the right to this button. Here we get quick access to the gallery, and this is how it looks like. Of course, I suggest you to making experiments with all of these settings and just have a good fun. And that's all. Thanks for watching, subscribe our channel and leave the thumbs up.